God damn it, Bungie, why does it always have to be one step forward and 2 steps back with you? I'm not gonna lay out everything that's happened with this game over the last 5 months, as I've covered this stuff time and again in my previous videos, but suffice to say that since launch, the game has insidiously been less player experience driven and more money-making driven. And after Bungie was caught with their pants down attempting to implement one shady scheme after another, the Destiny community had enough. This has all culminated in prominent Destiny YouTubers and streamers deciding to move away from doing coverage on the game, and we also learned that the last weekly Trials of the 9 PvP mode had the lowest participation in franchise history, not even crossing 100,000 unique players, which is a first, and also a good indication of waning player engagement. Bungie has been trying really hard to salvage this dumpster fire of a game throughout 2018 though. For the week-long Iron Banner event, the update that they provided on it was probably the most transparent the studio has ever been, detailing exactly what weapons, gears, and items players can expect, detailing exactly what activities will reward them, and detailing how there will be no throttling of engrams. They even went as far as hinting that they're looking into reverting Destiny 2's abhorred consumable shaders back to being unlockables like they were in Destiny 1. More recently, they provided a roadmap for the game for February through May, extrapolating on all the new features and changes players can expect, and with the most recent update regarding the Valentine's Day Crimson Days event, they detailed how the event-specific Crimson engrams would not be capped or limited in any way. Now, while these may all be steps in the right direction, the fact still remains that Bungie's solution to the game's egregious issues has essentially been to revert back to how things worked in Destiny 1. The bottom line is still that Destiny 2 is a game that so far regressed that it's going to take the studio the better part of 2018 to get it back to the starting line after running the marathon the wrong way for 5 months. For many people, it'll be too little too late by then, and as a result, despite Bungie's best efforts, there are still a lot of people that have taken to the Bungie forums to express their grievances. But hey, at least things seem to be taking a turn for the better, so Bungie couldn't possibly pull another bullshit move after all that's happened, right? Well, I wish I could say that were the case, but this is Bungie we're talking about. The following information comes from a post in the Bungie forums published on February 6th, 2018 by one of the site's community managers. In the post, Bungie details how they'll be locking down forums to anyone who hasn't purchased Destiny 2, stating, quote, "Hello all, starting tomorrow, February 7th, some Bungie.net forums will be updated with new post requirements. These changes are planned between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific. Destiny 2, feedback, gaming, and off-topic. Players must have reached the farm in Destiny 2. Destiny, clans, recruitment, community must have a Destiny account. Help, no game requirements necessary. As always, private groups are open to all for whatever experience you want to share with your friends, so long as it not violate our code of conduct. We are open to any and all feedback concerning Destiny and Destiny 2, but players who wish to contribute to the conversation will be required to have spent time in the game. Players who do not meet specified requirements will not be able to post or interact with threads on the forums in question. If threads are posted in the wrong forums in an attempt to circumvent these requirements, accounts will be subject to moderation by the Bungie.net ninjas. Bungie reserves the right to moderate this website and everything on it. You are here to contribute to the conversation, not to derail it. Any attempts to interfere with the discussion here will be removed. These guidelines require your best judgment, so please play nice. If you're not sure if the stuff you're about to share is appropriate for Bungie.net, don't post it. That'll help you stay clear of the Banhammer's blast radius. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Bungie's way of dealing with backlash and negative feedback in the forums is to paywall the forums behind the purchase of Destiny 2. Unsurprisingly, members of the Bungie forums were none too happy to hear the news. Now, I could kind of understand if these new restrictions only applied to the Destiny 2 section, it kind of makes sense that they might limit in-depth conversations regarding the game's narrative or gameplay mechanics to those who have actually played the game. I say kind of because I still don't think it's right, since there might be people who bought Destiny 1 but didn't buy Destiny 2 after hearing all about the crap that the game's been pulling, or since there might be newcomers to the series who may still want to interact with a community, ask questions, and get some feedback on the game before making a purchase. However, I do think this wouldn't be a huge issue if these restrictions only applied to the Destiny 2 section, but for them to go as far as applying these restrictions across sections such as gaming and off-topic, sections that have nothing to do with Destiny 2, that's where members of the Bungie forums draw the line. Keep in mind that the Bungie forums have been around for a while now, so these forums don't just house Destiny players, but also people who have been fans of Bungie games since the Halo days, and who may also be looking to participate in other conversations besides Halo and Destiny within the gaming and off-topic sections. A significant portion of these people, even long-timers, will now be cast out because of Bungie's new forum policies. And here's the really dumb part. The one section of the forums that doesn't require you to purchase Destiny 2 to make posts is the one that's least relevant to anyone who hasn't bought or played the game, the help section. Apparently, it's not okay for non-Destiny 2 players to have general gaming and off-topic discussions in the Bungie forums, but it's totally okay for them to ask help for a game that they don't own. It's completely asinine and backwards logic that is all too characteristic of modern-day Bungie. Now, look, I understand that on some level, forums do need regulation to root out toxicity and people who genuinely have nothing to contribute to the conversation. But the solution shouldn't be to segregate and exile anyone who hasn't bought or played Destiny 2. Just because you haven't purchased or played the game doesn't mean you can't talk about it, provide feedback, or contribute to the conversation. And on the other end of the spectrum, even those who have purchased and played Destiny 2 can be sources of blatant toxicity. Toxicity isn't just confined to one group of people, it's simply something that happens across the board, which is why the proper way to handle the situation would be to hire some moderators to keep track of everything and only ban those who are being excessively toxic or inflammatory. That's how successful forums like Reset Era maintain order, and it served them quite well. People there can still offer negative feedback, but everyone does so in a civilized and well-behaved manner, knowing that toxic behavior will not be tolerated. Bungie should allow the same level of freedom to anyone who is interested in talking, discussing, arguing, or asking about Destiny 2, a game that has a lot to answer for. Yes, it's true that lately the Bungie forums have been filled with nothing but negativity, but that's entirely Bungie's fault for pissing off their community time and again, so it's rather absurd for them to punish a certain segment of the forum's active participants, whether they're innocent or guilty of toxicity, for a problem that Bungie themselves caused. The right way to handle this situation would be to open their ears to listen to constructive feedback, regardless of where it comes from or who purchased the game, and to fix the game so that the community's mood and attitude naturally steers towards becoming more positive. What Bungie is pulling now seems less like they're trying to root out toxicity and more like they're trying to flat out censor a significant portion of the gaming population in an attempt to mitigate their current PR nightmare. There is an irony to Bungie's statement that, quote, "You are here to contribute to the conversation, not to derail it. Any attempts to interfere with the discussion here will be removed," as the only ones who seem to be trying to derail the conversation and interfere with discussion is Bungie. And when you've got a community that's already disillusioned from all the ways that Bungie has marred the potential for a great Destiny sequel by interfering with how people play the game and earn rewards to prioritize monetization, does the studio really think that the best course of action is to censor anyone who hasn't given them money for a flawed product? It is a bafflingly ridiculous plan that I believe will end up backfiring in the long run. It will only serve to instigate more negativity, not diminish it. It's a damn shame because for a while, Bungie seemed to be on a roll in terms of not doing something utterly stupid or underhanded. but they just can't seem to help themselves. Sure, it's true that the forums are not directly tied to Destiny 2 the game, but the forums still represent a significant portion of the community, and at the end of the day, it's the waning community that Bungie has to win back, and paywalling forums is not going to do them any favors. These are just one man's opinions anyway. I'd love to hear what you think about all this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. It is completely optional, but even donating as little as $1 a month will go a long way in helping this channel grow. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.